gives the body the energy to heal itself. And it's like connecting us back into source energy. And we've seen anything and everything heal. I love, miracles every single day.
How's everyone doing out there? Thank you for your patience.
Thank you for your patience, doctor.
All right, awesome.
Oh, wait, we're live. We're live. Yeah, we are. How's everyone doing out there? Thank you for your patience.
Oh, here we go. Can you see the chat to the left,
awesome.
to the right?
Yeah.
Good to know.
How's everyone doing out there? Thank you.
All right, let me shut this off. Dr. Sandra Rose Michael, how are you?
I think we're finally live. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right. All the Galactic Jedis that are watching, they all know that I have problems with technology. Every time I want to go live, there's something that goes wrong, to the point where 2 of our laptops broke down the other day. So we had to use a third laptop to do the live.
Yeah. And like I said, it's Mercury retrograde. So that's par for the course, kind of normal. But
exactly.
I want to wish everybody a happy solstice.
Likewise, as we approach the holidays. So a little bit about Dr. Sandra Rose. She is a DNM, PhD, inventor, researcher, professor, applied integrative biophysics, born to a genius scientist who met in, I love that, born to a genius scientist who met in engineering physics.
Scientist, okay, not a. I'm not a scientist.
Born to a genius scientist. Yeah, you're right. Born to genius scientists who met in engineering physics, Dr. Michael has taught holistic health for more than 4 decades, including inventing the effective scalar healing light chamber in 1978. That's pretty cool. That's a long time from now. That's, considering that you just were barely able to bring this technology to the public. Dr. Michael's lifelong award-winning work is applied integrative biophysics, has earned prestigious recognition such as presidential and international who's who, lecturing at the United Nations, MIT, the World Health Summit, the Harvard Club, London's Royal Society of Medicine, Mount Sinai Medical School, the Scalar Research Experts Conference, Tesla Tech, Regenerative Technology and Anti-Aging Congresses, as well as numerous medical schools and ministries of health worldwide. Knighted for her humanitarian service, Dame Dr. Michael has served on the board of the Global Foundation for Integrative Medicines and as a commissioner to the International Tribunal for Natural Justice. As recognized as a kahuna. That's very interesting. Hawaiian native?
Hawaiian healer.
Hawaiian healer. Interesting. As recognized as a kahuna, Dr. Michael is featured globally in a variety of books, newspapers, and journal articles, including a peer-reviewed University of Hawaii study on seizure disorder in autism. Her True Bioscaler EE System technology has been broadcasted widely on radio and TV and seen on CNN, Fox News, The Doctors, Wall Street Journal, and the Beverly Hills Times, plus being featured in a documentary, Revolution, Healing Humanity Beyond the Speed of Light. That is quite an impressive bio, Doctor.
And on unified healing. That's the most recent, the revolution, moving beyond medbed technology that went viral May 27th of 2022. So just last year. Yeah. And we had 70, that's the interview that Jason Shirka did with me that went viral, and we had 70,000 emails in the first 24 hours of that going out. So we've finally gone very, very public.
Wow, that is obviously destined to become, something that's going to replace, hopefully, the current Western Orthodox ways of doing medicine. Now, knowing that you've invented this back in 1978, that was quite some time. That was like maybe 45 years ago. Tell us about how why did it take so long for this technology to become accepted, or at least for this technology to be, utilized as it is today?
Oh, why did it take so long? Oh, geez. Figure that one out. I was actually locked out of my first system that I invented and everything in 78. It was kind of shut down and locked out back then even. And, we've been teaching over 45 years. And so then it went very out in 2001 when it was presented at the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine. And we've lectured at anti-aging medical conferences worldwide, but 2001 to 2002 it was going out gangbusters. And you said you wanted me to share a little bit of what we've been through, because in 2002 we had somebody sent in by Kissinger himself, personally trained by Kissinger to get control of me and my technology and all that kind of stuff. And they took everything. Literally, they got more than $250,000 or so and locked me out of my own offices, took everything. All kinds of attempts and threats on my life. It was a legal quagmire and we started over with less than scratch. And in January of 2003 when we rewrote everything. And relaunched again from 2003. And then, so it's progressed. It's been a progression of getting it out. And primarily it had to go out through private homes. It was going out through doctors before that. And that's part of why it got shut down, because there were so many doctors putting it in. And then it primarily had to be in private homes, so it couldn't be stopped. Even though we were doing the homework, doing the research, people can go to the research page. They can see there's more than 500 pages, maybe probably more of research that can be read there, at least that there. So doing the research, doing the homework, laying the foundations. And it's been with University of Hawaii Medical School for, I think, about 19 years now, something like that, with the peer-reviewed published study in Journal of Neurology Research. So laying the foundations, but it had to be primarily in private homes, so it couldn't be stopped. Literally all over the world, because it's like earth acupuncture. It's Tesla's work. I grew up doing all of Tesla's experiments, because my parents were both top secret government scientists. They had met in engineering physics. My mother, the nuclear physicist, my dad, the aerospace, electrical, mechanical, structural engineer. That I grew up doing all of Tesla's experiments, literally. But anyway, so it works like Tesla's work, and that goes through the planet, and it's a field technology. And each system that goes in builds those fields exponentially, so making it easier to access those fields of consciousness, which is all about, for me, all about alignment with true best and highest potential, highest exponential, highest purpose, highest divine plan, divine design. That kind of thing. So the foundations were all laid. And then I was always told that when it goes out, it has to be everywhere fast. When it really goes out, once you lay all the foundations and do all the research, once it really goes out, they said it has to be everywhere fast, so it can't be stopped. And so in conjunction with unified healing, with Jason Shirka, who I believe you have a show also on Unified, right? UNFYD, Unified. It's fantastic. And Unified Healing was created after we did that interview to be able to support, the global healing initiative, to be able to support that globally and worldwide, because there are strength in numbers. And it literally it has to be everywhere fast. So we're up to about 400 centers right now. I think there's 375 right now just with Unified Healing alone, but there are many more that are listed with EESystem. So that's Energy Enhancement System, or EESystem.com. You can find the locations there, or go to unifiedhealing.com and you'll find a lot more information.
Now, one of the earlier questions that somebody had, as I was reading the chat before we jumped on, They were wondering if it also helps with like teeth or tooth pain.
Well, it reduces inflammation through the whole body, but it also helps remineralize bones and teeth and things like that, because it has, bone healing frequencies in it. But it's alkalinizing, helping alkalinize the body because of the active hydrogen, which is the active hydrogen is part of how it produces the effects, because of the way it works with that release of active hydrogen in the body and the effects on the hydrogen atoms.
Mm-hmm.
But reduction of inflammation. So it's going to reduce pain first and foremost, but then support regeneration, literally regeneration, because we're working at the DNA level.
That's true. And one of the things that is intriguing for me in understanding the way the natural healing processes of the earth exist in is as a toroidal field, right? Tapping into the natural essence of the planet. I've always believed that that's the way energy works, like a funnel, right?
That's the big secret of the universe, that torsion field, or the scalar vortex, but the toroidal tube torus. It's been called a few things, but it's considered the secret of the universe.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I did think about some questions to ask you throughout the day. If you don't mind, I'm going to start with my first one. So your work involves groundbreaking technologies beyond medbed. Can you share more about these advancements and how do they differ from conventional approaches to healing?
Oh gosh, how does it differ from conventional approaches? All life is energy. And this is just, we're just creating a hyper healthy, energetic environment where the body has the energy to heal itself. And it is specifically designed to interface with the DNA and help remind the body of the original 12 strands. So it's trying to bring it back to its original divine design, the original matrix, so to speak, of our DNA and all the integrity of that information. So it's creating a unified field effect, which creates coherence in the body. So it's a very different approach. Now, why do we say it's beyond medbed? Because anything and everything they've talked about with the medbed technologies, we've been seeing and doing in documenting for quite some time. But the advancement really is, it's not one person at a time. You know, you've been there, Ishmael. You have whole rooms full of people having miraculous results because the power that made the body heals the body. And it's like plugging the body back into the cosmic light socket, and it's literally activating the light within us, the light at the core of the DNA, because the core of the DNA is literally the stuff from the stars. We are stardust. We are star beings, and we want to activate all of those superpowers as being the divine God and Goddess, sons and daughters of God that we are, you know, as bodies and beings of light. We have access to our superpowers. And so it's designed to trigger that total remembrance through every cell and fiber and tissue of our being. So it's very different that way. And in that, we can't heal the world one person at a time, individually, practitioner dependent, operator dependent. And this is generating fields that create a null zone effect, a nullification, 0 point energy. Okay, so it creates a null zone effect from the intersection of the fields that goes out about 2.2 miles every direction to nullify the detrimental and destructive fields. So creating a community, but it's also going through the planet and connecting. And then the hyper healthy energy is actually in the room with the photons, which are your quantums of light, the photons, and the DNA is biophotonic. And prime function of DNA is storage of photons. That's Dr. Fritz Albert Popp's work. There's a whole textbook on that. That if people want to really do the research and do the study, I do recommend that. But otherwise, whether people understand it or not, it just works in that it gives the body the energy to heal itself. And it's like connecting us back into source energy. And we've seen anything and everything heal. I love miracles every single day. I love to get to hear about them. I just got back from New York. I think I told you. And the last time I was in New York was a little less than a month ago. And at one of the centers with one of our doctors, she's actually an MD, Central Park Medical Practice, Dr. Shanaz Restamova. She had a gentleman, a young man who came in, had just been diagnosed with stage 4 metastasized aggressive cancer, and they wanted to remove at least half his jaw and treat it aggressively with chemo and radiation. So, so I sat in the technology. It happened to be I was there myself, you know, so the text that I got yesterday morning when I got back, woke up with this. Remember the young man with jaw cancer? He completed his protocols in the EE room yesterday. Was his last session. I had suggested he get his MRI and PET scan done for him. And guess what? The MRI came back negative for any tumor. This is after they wanted to remove his jaw and take material from his leg to replace it, do chemo, do radiation. You know, we had made a few suggestions for a protocol, and he was doing his overnight in the system. How the technology works is people take a nap in it. You know, it's like recharging your cell phone or defragging a computer where you reboot, but you put it on sleep mode so it can reorganize to a higher level of function. And the more, and it's in deep delta and theta brain states that the body can repair, rejuvenate, and regenerate. So he was doing his overnight, and that's what we recommend. Initially, the technology went out all over the world around people's beds. So ideally, everybody'd have it around their bed. But now there are all these centers that makes it very, very affordable and accessible for everybody, and letting people in. So that the overnights are really powerful, and it gives the body that energy to repair. And cancer cannot exist in an energy environment, an alkaline environment. You know, healing is voltage. That people have heard of some of that work. And it can't exist in an oxygenated or an alkaline environment. pH is everything. So then we're back to pH. That's talking about the potential of hydrogen potential, or the power of hydrogen. And a lot of our effects are from the effects on the hydrogen atom. So,
wow, that is such an amazing healing modality. It's almost like we were designed to heal ourselves with the right proper frequencies. But I see it also as a counter effect to what they call 5th generational warfare, which is through these negative frequencies, right?
Right. I was told that, yes, we can meditate. I was a meditator. I got this in meditation. Yeah, I'm a meditator. You know, we would meditate. And I recommend letting yourself know what God wants you to know. The clearer your questions, the clearer your answers. But I was told we had to create the technology because we were being so targeted by technologies, and that somebody had to create the counterpoint for here on the planet. But it also supports, because it synchronizes right and left brain hemispheres. And what's happening is people are living in such a toxic soup energetically, that the poisons in the air, the food, and the water, and then the EMF, the ELF, the radiation, microwave, everybody is dealing with radiation poisoning at this point. And so we have to go to that point where, as we radiate light, we activate that light within us. And as we radiate light, nothing that is not of that light can affect us. But by synchronizing right and left brain hemispheres, it pulls people out of the victim mode of fright, flight, and fight, brain dominance, whether it's right brain or left brain. You know, you want to have that balance. When you synchronize right, left brain hemispheres, you can go to a deeper meditational state. This is the actual research. You go to a deeper meditational state than a Tibetan monk in 7 minutes. We need to accelerate evolution on this planet. And yes, it's still up to people to do their own work. It gives you the energy, it creates the ideal, helps support the creation of the ideal optimal brain states. But ask and you shall receive. The clearer the question, the clearer the answers, and let yourself know through every cell of your being whatever it is there is for you to know that allows you to live your greatest life and fulfill all of your highest purposes, because you wouldn't have your highest purpose, your highest visions, if you weren't here to fulfill it.
100%. You are absolutely correct on everything. The next question I have for you is, the failure of modern medicine is a concern you've highlighted. So in your view, are the most critical challenges, in your view, what are the most critical challenges, and how does your approach address or overcome these challenges?
Okay. As you said, this is applied integrative biophysics. It's beyond theoretical physics. This is applied integrative biophysics. And the body's like a circuitry. We're not just chemical beings. The downfall of the medical system the way it's been, nobody's been deficient in Prozac or deficient in the vaccines or things like that. How do we support the natural divine design of the body? And then doctors have been trained in treating dis-ease and treating symptoms, but they have not been well trained in what creates health. It's like, how do we create hyper health? And so I've taught holistic health more than 45 years. This is holistic health. You cannot expect to be super healthy here if you're still poisoning yourself.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And quit paying to poison yourself. I mean, out of addiction to abuse, etc., the chemicals, sodas, and things like that. Very hyper addictive. Starbucks, that's very obviously hyper addictive, or people wouldn't be lined up in the way that they are. So quit, every dollar is a vote. What are we voting for on the planet? We have accountability for what we're creating. Our thoughts create, but so what are we creating? What do we have to be the future that cannot be stopped. That's why we call this the future of medicine, because it's we are energy, but it's integrative medicine. And it's not like you throw out any part of it. Let's keep what works and move forward. But, how would we be if we had the ideal optimal environment that we'd have if we had heaven on earth where all life was fully supported in its optimal expression? Highest function. So this is true functional medicine that way. But you also have to do your own part, making healthier, more intelligent, more informed choices and doing those things that support. Don't put things into your body that don't create an ideal, optimal, healthy body. The body is the temple of our Holy Spirit anyway.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree. I couldn't disagree. That's what I'm saying. I do want to say that, this is the exact same science, integrative medicine, that the ancients applied before the rise of the Dark Ages. But even throughout history, within pockets of little communities, the healers, the medicine men and women, the shamans, they all knew about this. They knew that everything was interconnected. And the only there is a saying that says the cure is in nature. Well, the cure is also in the natural bio-living energies of living systems, such as the planet, the sun, and so on and so forth. So I'm so excited to see where all this is heading as we approach a new era for humanity. Now, another question I have for you is...
they haven't really dealt with the biofield.
No, they haven't. They're still, like you said, they're still approaching things in terms of it being a mechanical machine, when in essence, it's an energy body. It's
in the secret programs, in the black ops programs, etc. They know all about the biofield, and that's where we're being attacked with the EMF, the ELF, the radiation, microwave. Of course, we know radiation. We've known for how long that radiation creates cancer. What radiation does, whether it's my mother was fissioning plutonium in the lab the whole time she was pregnant with me. working on the bomb. So I know radiation literally from the inside out. And
Oh my gosh.
literally.
Well,
And I grew up, my favorite toys, I had collections of Geiger counters and gyroscopes. So,
mhm.
so I know radiation inside out. And whether it's ionizing radiation or non-ionizing radiation, it unzips the DNA. It breaks those covalent hydrogen bonds in the DNA, unzips the DNA. Well, unified fields put the DNA back into its original, tight matrix, the original design. And that active hydrogen then can repair the covalent hydrogen bonds in the DNA. And that is some of the original research, is that is repairing all the genetic damage, repairing the breaks in the DNA, and lengthening telomeres. So, and we have research to that effect too. There's actually a Dr. Jenny Xu, another professor of medicine, who's starting a study in January. When she started, she had been studying longevity medicine for quite some time, more than a year of following all the protocols. And I believe when she did her initial test, she was 53 years old chronologically, but tested as 50 years old. She did 2 sessions in an EE system. She went and did 2 3-hour sessions. Now you felt it, you've experienced being in it. She took her, and she happened to, did her telomere testing after that. Mm-hmm. And found that after just 2 sessions, she tested 6 years younger than her biological age. So would you know if you were 1.5 years younger after each session? Not necessarily. You don't necessarily feel your telomeres lengthening. Okay, so she got her cube and she tested 15 years younger. She now has a full center with a 24-unit system in Redmond, California. And now she's 54, and her telomeres test says she's, I've heard 2 numbers, 28 or 31. Either way is good. She looks fabulous. And she's going to be starting, we're going to be starting some research studies with that. So anybody that wants to join that can let us know.
Yes. Put it in the comments if everybody's interested in investigating that even further. Look what I'm wearing. My EESystem medallion myself. So.
The EE medallions. These little buggers really work.
Yeah, they keep our body shield from those negative frequencies that are designed to kill us.
Exactly. It's like we want to, like I talked about, as long as we radiate light, nothing that is not of the light can affect us. But this helps maintain the integrity of the DNA, remind the DNA of that original divine design, also the red blood cells. And how important are your red blood cells? It's that same shape. You want to maintain the integrity of the red blood cells so they stay free flowing and fully oxygenated. So you want to stay strong no matter what you're supposed to. No matter what, you want to stay strong. We don't need any more fancy victims, but we got to remind the body how to stay in integrity because we've been bombarded, literally attacked, and a hijacking of the DNA has, as you know, has been a real project on this planet.
Yes, a project that is now coming to an end because people are waking up.
That is our God code. The DNA is literally our God code. And the fulfillment of all the prayers and all the promises, all the prophecies of at least 26,000 years in this turning of the ages. We're here now in the fulfillment, and God wins. Absolutely.
100%. And all the galactic Jedis agree. So my next question is, you mentioned the unified presence that heals the world. How do you envision this unified approach making a global impact? And what role can individuals play in this healing process?
It's the global awakening, the quickening, the awakening that cannot and will not be stopped. And how each person adds to that field is by radiating love. Love, awareness is our power. And you have to know what's been created or what's been done to know how to recreate, right? Mm-hmm. That makes sense, right? You have to understand what's been done. It's not about us sticking our head in the sand and pretending evil doesn't exist or whatever. but love is our superpower. And as we radiate and share love, we share the only thing we ever want to share with anybody. And infinite waves of love that go out to touch the hearts of all beings, offering them more love. That's all.
I love the answer to that question, and I completely agree. Okay, the next one is as the director of the intraoperative monitoring service, how does neurophysiology contribute to preserving neurologic function during complex surgical procedures?
Geez, well, the energy's all in the field, the biofield, and the memory, but that's everything neurological. It's all synapses, it's all firing. It's about coherence. Bottom line, everything in the body, it's informational fields, dense, intentional informational fields. And the DNA carries all those memories. You got cell memory, you got all that. But the synapses, but everything is meant to move at superluminal velocity, beyond the speed of light. The information, our cell signaling needs to be firing, the synapses, everything firing. And it's with coherence where there's no impedance. So you want to be aware of not creating more circuit jams, so to speak.
That is the same methodology applied in a successful meditation. If you are in coherence, you're able to tap into the unified field or into the God source field, which is really all around us. And same methodology. It makes perfect sense. Coherence pretty much is everything.
Coherence. It's a really, really powerful principle. That state where there's no impedance, clearing the circuit jams.
Exactly.
And to do that, you have to quit taking your spirituality so damn serious either, because that dams the flow.
There has to be balance. In other words, there has to be balance
of light. It has to, and we're here to enjoy being all that we are, and that's what they tried to take away: our smiles, our sharing of love, our sharing of laughter. And we need to remember that that bliss, that eternal bliss, Satchidananda, eternal bliss and knowledge.
I love it. I love it. So the next question is, your involvement in educating medical students, residents, and fellows is commendable. Commendable. I think I said it right. What aspects of your work in educating do you find most rewarding, and how does it contribute to the future of medical professionals?
Well, we have to share the knowledge, especially as seniors. I'm over 70 now, so we have to. I've been teaching over 45 years.
Oh my gosh! I thought you were in your 50s. You look so young.
And that's my life, is teaching this. So, and so that's what I do find very rewarding is sharing the knowledge, passing the knowledge, but also they're the future. So, and I've lectured, I think, in about 20 different, ministries of health and medical schools and stuff worldwide. And they're hungry and thirsty for this knowledge because this has been the suppressed science. This is really, there's nobody teaching knows what I know with all the research that I've done. And so I do want to share, we've made it very easily available through a university, I'm a fellow with a university called New Earth, which is what we want to create, a new heaven and a new earth, right?
Is that the name of the university?
New Earth University.
I love it. It's funny that you say that, because before I published my book, the original title was going to be A New Heaven on Earth. And then I decided to call her A Cosmic Origin at the end.
But no, that's my whole thing, is about creating a new heaven and new earth through us, and be that fulfillment of that prophecy. But yeah, New Earth University. And then there's the course on there, The Future of Medicine. It's a fantastic program. Lots of information and libraries and different teachers and great courses there. So I've put my little workshop. It's a 3.5-hour online workshop with a workbook, and it's $65, but it's a 100% donation to support that university. So New Earth University is where you find that course. And I go through a lot of the science and stuff very, very quickly.
Nice. Now, for the Galactic Jedis that want to ask you questions, I'm going to ask her about 3 more questions, and then we're going to open it up for you guys to also ask the questions. So 3 more questions. 3 more questions. I'm
Okay.
almost done. Let's see. Okay, so the next question is, all right, so reflecting on your childhood, were there, were there any particular experiences or influences that sparked your interest in science and medicine?
It was in my family, everything was a science experiment. It didn't matter. And I grew up on the farm healing all the animals, but
Oh,
I thought it was totally normal to put your hands around the animals and watch how the energy went through and see what it was like being in that body, looking out through those eyes, seeing what it was like being in that consciousness. That's how I played. I thought everybody played like that, or seeing through walls, or astral projecting, or whatever you want to call it. It was just remote viewing. Uh,
mhm.
expanded awareness. We don't want to be out of body. We need good embodiment here. So is being able to, but knowing that we came in. So that was natural to me. So that everything was a science project, including my organic gardens and 4-H.
Beautiful, beautiful. So in a way, you grew up around this since you were a little girl. It was
Yeah.
always around you. It was part of your environment.
I thought, I built my own, transducers, receivers, antennas, rockets in the backyard, all that stuff, and ham radios. I built my own. Yeah, and I was
Oh my God.
about creating all these coils, with copper and crystals and levitating things. And
Oh, really? Levitating things. I'm surprised you didn't get the knock on the door by the man in black at the because they were levitating things.
my dad was a top secret government scientist, and so was my mother. But she was mad scientist, stuck on mad, because it was all my fault that she couldn't continue with being that great research scientist,
Mhm.
because back in the early 50s, like, it was all my fault. It's kind of a joke. What do you have two top nerdy scientists from Ohio? Where do they go for their honeymoon? Right? Where did two super nerds go for their honeymoon? Right? Niagara
That's cool.
Falls with Tesla's power plant. So, but my mother's mother told her if she douched on her wedding night, she wouldn't get pregnant. Oops. Somehow it was my fault then that she didn't get to.
Oh my God. Well, it was obviously no accident that you were meant to be here at this time.
But the whole
Contributing to the
pregnant
new
night,
world.
she was literally fissioning plutonium in the labs. I remember it all vividly.
And I am surprised growing up with all that radiation around you, especially when you were in the womb, and it's like you came out super healthy and
Well,
you
no,
know.
I was always sick as a child, and hypothyroid,
Oh, you
majorly.
had hypothyroid. Oh, okay. Do you think that was the effect of being radiated when you were in the womb?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. So, that's part of, you learn to, like I said, heal everything. I know radiation from the inside out.
So the next question is, throughout your academic years, were there any pivotal moments or mentors who significantly shaped your perspective and guided you toward specializing in neurophysiology?
Yeah, there were many, but I had some master teachers friends, that I hung out with. Dr. Fred Bell. If anybody's ever heard of him, he's a major contactee, but he was similar to me. He was in the labs. Alexander Graham Bell, that was his uncle. He was in the labs
Oh,
with him
really?
since he was 8. And he became a nuclear physicist with NASA at 16. And he was kind of the protege of Werner von Braun. So, so I learned all about Project Paperclip and all those, learned a lot about the science and stuff, with, did stuff with him about, with scalar for years, even though I had built my first scalar healing light chamber many, many years before I ever met him. So I built that in 1978 originally, because my whole thing is, how do we heal the world? That's my life. It's been my intention growing up, so that's been, who I am and what I'm about. But yeah, I did study radionics and Rife technologies and photons and all that, starting in the early 70s. started initially training in chiropractic, reflexology, nutrition, Ayurveda. And I studied 8 years, studied Sanskrit, reading the Vedas, because those are those are actually the best books on physics on the planet.
Absolutely, yes. The ancient Indians knew all about this and more, you know.
Then Veda means knowledge, you know, but they were written down over 5,000 years ago. Before that, you know, I'm born in the bloodline of Martin Luther, and growing up, you know, I did all Mensa games, and
Martin Luther, the reformer.
Yeah, the reformer.
Oh.
He led a reformation. Well, we're leading a revolution. But he was the original protester Protestant guy, right?
He was.
But it was all about read the Bible. So by third grade, I was reading encyclopedias cover to cover, but I also read that Bible 6 times cover to cover by the time I was 12.
Same here, by the way. When I was younger, I had an opportunity to read the Bible a few times, not as many as 6, but I think about 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I mean, it's the most important book on the planet. I was all about it.
Yeah, it is. It's written on different levels of understanding, and it's a great metaphor for deeper spirituality.
Yeah. And you have to go deeper into it. I mean, you know, I was trying to figure, by the time I was a little older, I had every translation and looking at what they translated into what, when, where, why, and how, going up into the etymological, going deep into it. What does this really mean? What does this really say? And that's a question I recommend everybody ask. You know, what's this really about? It's a really good question. What's this really about? Yeah.
Exactly. I agree. So the final and last question, so that way we could open it up for the Galactic Jedis to ask you any question. Let's see. I have 3 more, but I'm just going to ask you one more.
Okay.
In your journey, what challenges have you encountered and how have you overcome them? How do you stay resilient in the face of obstacles?
Well, we certainly have had not an easy path, you know, but you keep doing it no matter what. When you're on a mission, you know, you keep doing it. It's a matter of, you know, be still and know was really shut up and listen. And where there's a will, there's a way. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a divine will, get out of the way. There is no stopping. There's nothing bigger than God.
Completely agree with you, my sister. I love that. So now we're going to open it up for the Galactic Jedis to ask any question they want. This is your chance, guys, to drop in the questions. And Doctor, if you could see the chat on the right, go ahead and pick any question you want as well.
Yes.
I'll give you the forum here.
My son as a child said God reads the Bible all the time. That's pretty funny. I was reading something, where to go? A 2-hour session to test it out, where to go. And then it's flipping and I start to, you know, and it's gone.
Well, I have Sharon Rose saying, I definitely want to be part of the testing with Dr. Rose, dealing with effects of a 4-car accident hits from behind, last head on in a blizzard, want to take the med beds. Something about, okay, so apparently she's been in some car accidents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By spending the night in the energy enhancement rooms, will that help her body heal at an extraordinary pace?
Can only help, can't hurt. And we've seen crazy, radical miracles. And we love that. So
Okay.
Can't guarantee them because people have to be, you know, you can't make people heal. And it's important for people to use the energy to turn up the volume on their own inner knowing. Once you know whatever message God's been trying to get through to you, once you know whatever God wants you to know, once you know, get the message from higher self what something's about, then there's no more need for those symptoms.
That's correct. I mean, if you want to pick any questions, let me know and go ahead and read it out.
Yeah, somebody want to know how to volunteer for the testing. Maybe contact our office. Maybe we'll try to organize something through that, because it's going to be a multi-site study on the telomere lengths, repair, which is really cool because that's the end caps of the DNA, right? The telomeres are the end caps of the DNA. And so it shows that repair, regeneration, and it's true age reversal. It literally is age reversal.
It's the beginning stages of immortality, if done correctly.
And you could call this immortality medicine, the infinity loop. It's an infinitely projected Mobius, but it's an infinity loop beyond relative time and space. Because we are eternal, immortal beings, really.
Yes, we are in our original essence, and we're returning to that eventually, very soon.
Yeah, so the office, you could email support@eesystem.com, support@eesystem.com, and people can get answers there. But maybe we'll coordinate that. But it's also through Dr. Jenny Shu's office, which is in Redmond, California. And you can find her on the website, eesystem.com, or also on unifiedhealing.com. So...
you're getting a lot of love here from the chat. Everybody's saying you look great.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, like I said, I thought you were maybe 50, 51.
Thanks, I'll take it. Yeah, my first baby is now 50. I have 4 kids. I was just on the phone with my oldest daughter. She's 50. I had her when I was 20. So, and my youngest 37-year-old, you've met Nayla. You actually met her before. And my son is in Asia right now. He runs the company, but he's doing installations. We're literally all over the world. In fact, we'll be doing a big conference in London, conference for Europe. That'll be April 4th and 5th. Before that, be in Ireland and Scotland.
Wow, so you have a busy schedule ahead of you.
Yeah, and we'll be seeing each other too. You were just at Mel Carmine's recently in Cape Canaveral, Florida. Was that great?
It was phenomenal. For putting an event together within 6 days, it was very successful, and I had a great time. I had a great time meeting Mel. He's an amazing guy, and I love the work that he does as well, and a bunch of beautiful souls that attended. So yeah, it was very, very great. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so I'll be at Mel Carmine's in Cape Canaveral.
Can you give us the date on that?
Yes, that is January 21. January 21st, I'll be there. I'll be in Miami for grand opening there. I think it's the 11th, 12th of January at Centner Wellness Center.
And how would people be able to attend that event?
I don't know. I know I'll be there. Centner Wellness Center. It's in Miami. Actually, you can follow me where I keep up the most is on Facebook. Sandra Rose Michael is the page, or EESystem.
Sandra, I want to type in your Facebook here for people to follow you. Sandra Rose Michael, one word?
No, that's not all one word there. That's Sandra Rose Michael is my Facebook page. And EESystem is one word. And then there's an EESystem enthusiast page, an EESystem testimonial page. So we tend to get the word out through that. So that's one way. But Centner Wellness Center, you can go to eesystem.com or unified, UNIFYD, unifiedhealing.com. And check in. And they also post events. And in fact, we'll all be at an event in February, right? Conscious Life Expo in LA. Jason Shirko will be there. You'll be there.
You'll be there too, right?
Uh-huh. All three of us.
Nice.
That one. That'll be a good party. We'll have an EESystem room set up for people to visit as well. And we have quite a few centers in the area. So there'll be people there for that. So that'll be good too.
Yeah, that is the biggest expo when it comes to spirituality, alternative medicine, extraterrestrials, and much more on the planet. So
Right.
those that are going to attend the Los Angeles Conscious Life Expo, make sure that you guys, are you going to be presenting as well? Because I'm presenting in the rabbit hole. So I think for me, it's just.
I'm probably down the rabbit hole myself.
Okay.
It might be where I am. I'm not sure where they have me this year, but
you will be doing a workshop then.
I do have a workshop. Absolutely, yes.
Well,
and I know Jason Shirka has one also, and there was a lot of great people there. My friend Daniel Brinkley will be there.
oh, I want to meet him. I've heard of him. He's awesome.
Yeah, originally met him, and oh God, it's embarrassing. I think we originally met in the late 70s, early 80s in Egypt. this life, but he's great. You know, he's been dead 3 times, but other than that, he's good.
I heard. Some people are just not meant to die.
Yeah,
they
we are eternal, and that is part of it. So, people will have the medallions at those events, but the medallions can be ordered from EESystem.com, or you can get them at any of our centers. I think somebody wanted to know about them, and these little puppies really work. If you go on our website, you'll even see some research with just the medallion then in the lab with Dr. Glenn Ryan. He's a Harvard, Stanford biophysicist, found a 28% increase in the electrical conductivity of DNA just from the medallion. It's really cool. Yeah, really cool.
I do notice a difference when I wear it for consecutive days. I notice that I sleep better at night, that I don't get as groggy during the day. And I feel much better, more at ease.
Stay focused, but it's like a 5-foot cocoon that does a transmutational energy. It doesn't protect from, because protection from doesn't work. Whatever you focus on expands, and protection from just creates more victims. The more that you protect from, the more there is to protect from. We want to be strong no matter what. We want to be in alignment with our highest power and have access to unlimited power, infinite intelligence, unconditional love.
That's the goal.
So you want to have that total access open. And that's what the technology wants to support. So it's a whole different thing. And transmutation of energy into like the electrical precursors for the body, so the body can use the energy to stay healthier.
And just to let everyone know, we were at 444 for a while here, which is a very angelic, powerful number.
Yeah.
That's how many people were on the live. Now it's jumped to 452. I want to welcome everyone for being here. Now, someone did ask, how many books have you written?
I have not. I'm in a lot of books, but you can print out the workbook that's online on the New Earth University. You can print that workbook out, or some of the centers carry it. But we're written about in a lot of books. In fact, one of my favorite ones, Dr. Lily Botchus will join us at Cape Canaveral. She wrote this book. I don't know if you can see it, but it's. I
like the picture in the front.
Yeah, the title is Awakening the Holographic Human. Awakening the Holographic Human. She wrote some of our initial white papers, and she has a whole chapter in that book about our technology, and it's just fabulous. So she'll be joining us there in Cape Canaveral, Florida. Yeah, so that'll be fun.
I would suggest for people that want to attend her event on the 21st, right, of January, I would go to Mel Carmen's, what's the name of the center again?
Yeah, Staying Alive.
Staying Alive.
I think it's stayingalive.com, except the live has 2 eyes.
Perfect. Here, let me type that in case people are interested in meeting you in person. Obviously, you are one of the heroes in today's world.
What's one in the world? That's all.
A real renaissance.
Yeah. It's taken persistence and perseverance and patience and everything else. I joke about I get shown the visions. I'm a visionary, in past, present, future. It's all been the simultaneous to me. But I'm like the kid in the back seat of God going, are we there yet? Are we there yet? I already know how this plays out.
Yeah.
But how we get there from here is a great mystery. Still, we got so much shift hitting the fan right now because the planet is in deep shift. But, the gig's up, contracts up for the dark forces. And yeah.
Thank you. You are speaking our language here. Everyone's loving it. Now, staying alive is STAYINGALIVE, but you said there was two I's or two E's?
ALIIVE.
Okay, got it. I just want to make sure.
Staying Alive. I think it's just .com, but that's the name of his center. It's Staying Alive. But
all right, awesome.
You can also go to EESystem.com or he's also part of unifiedhealing.com and go to locations on either of those.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm looking for more questions for you. We still have about 5 more minutes, so let's take a couple more if we can.
Deep shift. Shift has hit the fan of accelerated evolution.
Yep, everybody here is aware of this shift that is going to be happening any day now. Any day now. Let's see.
Yeah, I always, I'm recognized as a kahuna.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, what I like to share about that, I've been recognized as the original teacher of Huna, which is the secrets. Huna means the secrets or mysteries of life. Ka means a keeper or knower of those secrets. And I was recognized as the great white kahuna, the fulfillment of prophecy, that the time of crisis on the planet, it's aloha that heals the world. Mm-hmm. Aloha means I honor that sacred breath of eternal life, the energy, the power that interconnects all things and animates our hearts and then fills us with that love that we share. And so aloha is oneness with that breath and the perfection of the love of all life. And it radiates out from our hearts to touch the hearts of all beings. But it's oneness with that breath. So you're breathing light, breathing love, and letting go of everything in the way of our greatest life and greatest love. So it's all in our breath. And in the Bible, it said in the beginning, God breathed the breath of life. After that, in this free will zone, it's up to us, whether we're continually, constantly, consciously reconnecting with that source of all power, all light, all love, or not. And God's only a breath away ever. And the word spirit, our Holy Spirit, comes from the Latin word spirare, which means to breathe. And so I want to share that oneness with that breath and that love of all life. Aloha. No matter what happens, keep breathing.
I love it. I love it. It's all in the breath work when it comes down to it. And I've always known that, even as I've implemented my own meditations throughout my life. I mean, breathing is everything. That's when, you are, connecting with the universal life force, whether you call it the Holy Spirit, whether we call it the force, or just that intelligent, unified field that is all around us. It's conscious and it's aware. And it's free. It's free. We don't have to pay for it.
It's only a breath away. And in our system, you're literally breathing light, photons, the quantums of light. So it makes that access the connection very, very easy. But it's all in the breath. And that's one of the big secrets from the mystery schools. And secret means what's sacred, because it's about remembering the sacredness of our bodies and who we are and all that we are and all that we're here for. And remember how highly we're connected always, because we have access to unlimited power, infinite intelligence, unconditional love.
Wow, your wisdom is just intriguing. I love everything that you are saying, and it's so, correct. It's absolutely correct.
Well, truth, the cells vibrate and resonate with the power of truth. And that's part of how our technology works, is it creates that cell resonance of that alignment, being aligned by the light, with the light, and as the light of the highest power of love, here on earth as is in heaven through us now. That is our Christed beingness.
Wow, you should write a book about all of this. I mean, that's definitely something I would read. I've always believed that. I've always felt, that, and it's amazing the way how we could pretty much live in a new heaven on earth, and all we have to do is align with that frequency, because everything's about frequency. So once you resonate with a particular frequency, they call it the God frequency, right? Which is 520 hertz and above. I mean, you're fully empowered.
It's a God code, but it's literally in our DNA.
Yeah, and Great Braden proved that. He's another marvelous scientist and researcher. He decoded that God exists within our DNA.
Yeah, it means literally the God within.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that is the truth of who we are. And this is all about just remembrance. Fear is just forgetfulness. Fear is just thinking there's something bigger than God. So what would there ever be to be afraid of? Fear is just forgetfulness. It's like, I forgot who I am. We have access to the infinite power, the unlimited power, the infinite intelligence. And the body has its own infinite innate intelligence. So just that remembrance of that. You have to remind the body, because it's been so misaligned by so many distortions of buying into lies or buying into distorted fields. So
that is so true. If you could leave us with anything positive, a positive message, anything that you want to share with the Galactic Jedis, what would that be?
Aloha. That oneness with that breath and the love of all life. You're breathing all the power. What if you could breathe in all the power, all the light, all the love right into your heart, and it flows out infinitely? That's that infinity wave. And that's the easiest way to understand scalar. It's aloha. It's infinite waves of love, and sharing those waves to go out around the world to heal the world. And that's what I figure your job is. Share the only thing you ever want to share with anybody. And it's our light, our love, our wisdom, our truth, and the only thing beyond love is more fully shared love. So no withholding, no holding back out of fear of persecution, fear of prosecution, what will people think, etc. We're not to edit. Our greatness is in the allowance of God's power and light and love to flow through us freely, and let that work, because it knows what to do. And that's what works. It's effectiveness.
I love it. I love it. I could be listening to you all night.
Yeah, thanks for letting me share. And Ho'oponopono, maybe people have heard of that. It means making what's right more right. Ho'oponopono means balance, means that 0 point, that point of balance, the space between breaths where God lives is pono. But also the meaning of pono I like to share is effectiveness is the measure of truth. And, and so we love creating things, how effective, how efficient, how well does it work? Because the efficiency is in that coherence and that oneness with that breath. So that's my whole message, really.
And that's going to be the central tenet of the new world, of a new heaven on earth, is returning back to that oneness, that eternal energy that is exemplified through all living things. And it's all around us, through us and all around us. And it's everything. Yeah. So don't forget to follow her on her YouTube page. On her Facebook page, Dr. Sandra Rose Michael. And also, if you guys want to meet her in person, I did leave the link here, stayingalivewellnesscenter.com. And and if you guys are going to be attending the Los Angeles Conscious Life Expo in about 6 weeks, I think we will see you guys
sometime. Do you remember the dates for Conscious Life Expo?
I believe it's the 10th, 11th, and 12th.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So
11th and 12th, we should be there.
Yes, and
it's like a big giant spiritual reunion of family.
It is. Everyone's there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Doctor. It is a pleasure, and It is an honor to be here listening to you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for letting me share. Everybody, please share the light, your love, your wisdom. No withholds. You just got to let it flow.
I agree. And I also want to thank the Galactic Jedis for tuning in, all 479. Thank you guys for being here. And like I always say, may the God force be with you. May the God force be with you, Doctor, as well.
May the force be with us. And this is, our technology is like Star Trek, Star Wars, Matrix got together and had a baby.
Pretty much. I mean, when you think about it, those are the three main movies that are like at the forefront of the disclosure. I love it.
Yeah, and live long and prosper too.
Exactly. Towards eternity and immortality.
Yeah.
That's where we're heading.
Yeah. Infinite.
Love it. All right, Doctor. We'll talk soon.
Thanks. And aloha and mele kalikimaka. Mele kalikimaka. That's the Hawaiian way to say Merry Christmas to you.
Nice. Well, happy holidays to everyone as well.
Yeah. Take care.
Oh, really quick. I will be going live. I looked at everybody's comments, and it seems like most people want me to go live on Christmas evening, which is this Monday at 6:00 p.m. And the subject matter is going to be the occult meaning of Christmas. It's going to be a good one, guys. We'll see you then Monday night. Bye, Doctor.